In this video, I'm going to share with you 13 different things you can do to start becoming more happy. Okay, because how to genuinely be happy is something that we all have to be constantly doing every day. It's not like a one and done thing, right? Myself included. So I'm going to share with you those 13 things right now. Starting with number one. Number one is to avoid the negative people in your life, right? As much as you can, because negativity in, negativity out, right? Garbage in, garbage out. So have to be standing guard at the gates of our mind every single day, right? So that's why I don't watch the news. Like, I'm not watching the news because that's going to give me more negativity. And when I talk to people, I'm just going to be negative because I'm a product of my environment, right? So if I'm listening to negative stuff, I'm just going to be negative. So that's the first thing, is to avoid all that stuff, right? Avoid the people that are just constantly complaining, and brings me nicely on to number two, which is to hang out with positive people. That means watching positive stuff like this video, for example, that's going to improve your life because it's positive, right? It's not negative. Hang out with these positive people in your life because they're going to help you become more positive and optimistic about life. The people that are depressed, and I've been there before, but when you're depressed, you're oftentimes filled with negative thoughts, okay? So you need to hang out with the positive people to fill your mind with positive thoughts and have an optimistic outlook on life. And number three is to challenge yourself by doing the hard things. Now, some people ask, why are you telling people to do the hard things? Well, for me, like when I do the hard things, I feel accomplished, right? And that sense of satisfaction with myself actually improves my happiness. Like if I do something hard and I succeed, for example, let's say I do a yoga class. I don't actually like yoga, but I know it's beneficial for me. So by the time I'm like, 1/3, 2/3 of the way through the class, I'm ready to quit. But once I break through that barrier and complete the class, I feel accomplished. The same thing with jiu-jitsu. Like, I don't really want to be, fighting with guys every single day, but I know that once I do that, once I overcome that, I'm going to be a better person, and I'm going to feel prouder of myself and more happy within myself. And that's going to permeate everything I do and affect all the people that I'm hanging out with. Number four is to have amazing friends, okay? Like, this is such an important one, right? Like, if you don't have amazing friends, people that you can talk to about anything, like share your feelings, share your thoughts, not just talk about superficial stuff, and people that are actually supporting you and want the best for you, that's gonna help you become happier, because your friends is actually part of your wealth, okay? I remember one time I lost my wallet, and I realized that actually all my money was in my wallet, like my cards, everything was in my wallet. I didn't have any cash at home. And I went back to my house, and then one of my friends was like, hey, here's I think it was like $80. Like, here's $80 cash because, you haven't got any cash, and then, you can pay me back whenever. But, having friends to support you when you need them, when they need you, this is going to make you happy, because that's real wealth, okay? We don't want to be alone in this life. We want to have people, we want to feel connected. We're tribal creatures, okay? Number five is a personal favorite of mine, is to live on less. Okay, that involves whatever it is for you. So for me, I was living in England and I came to live in Asia. Like, that's helping me live on less, because now I realize I actually don't need all this stuff. Like, I just need a roof over my head, clothes on my back, an iPhone, friends, and a laptop. That's all and some clothes, some food. That's all I need. I don't need much. Like, you don't need much to be happy. Okay, and when you live in the West, you think you need all this stuff to be happy. Like, you go into the mall every day to buy clothes that no one cares that you're wearing like nice clothes anyways. Like, it's just for your own satisfaction. But then you get to a point where you've got enough, but you still want more because you want to impress people that you don't even like. It's just like, it doesn't make any sense to me. So how to be happy for me is to live on less, live in a country where your living expenses are really low. And that's one of the ways that I do it. And that's helped work for me tremendously. Number six is, if you can, improve the relationships with your parents and your siblings. If you can, right? If your parents are still alive or your siblings are still alive, this is something that's really important to me personally, because, I want to have a nice relationship with my parents. Like, I want to have a nice relationship with my brother, okay? And that's really important to me. And that actually helps me feel more happy about my life, because ultimately, when it's all said and done, like, your friends may go away, right? But your family is going to stay with you through thick and thin. So if you don't have a good relationship with your family, then, no matter how much you achieve in that world, you come back and you're like, shit, like, still don't have a good relationship with my father and my mother and my brother and my sister, so it's really worth investing in improving those relationships. And there's a lot of work to do around that. We'll maybe touch on that in later videos, but improving your existing relationships with your family members goes a long way to actually improving your happiness and how you feel about yourself. Number 7 is to love what you do for work, right? Like have a mission. Like this is something that I've been obsessed with for my whole life, is what am I going to do to actually generate income, but not just generate income, but actually enjoy it and have it be part of who I am, right? And that's partly doing these videos. Like this is something that I genuinely feel I'm put on this earth to do. Like when I first started doing videos, you should have seen it. It was the worst video ever, right? And now I just feel like this is like walking for me. It's like so easy to make videos. And I love making videos because I know that on the other side of the screen, like when I'm talking into the camera right now, I know that there's someone who's going to benefit from the stuff I'm sharing. And that makes me sleep well at night, gives me fulfillment. And that's really what I'm talking about, is to love what you do. Like Steve Jobs said it, he said, if you don't love what you do, you're going to fail because it's really hard. And if you don't really love it, if you're not having fun doing it, then it's not going to work. And I've experienced this myself. I've tried different things that I didn't really have the passion for, and it was just for the money. And I didn't put in the effort required to actually get the result because I wasn't really passionate about it. So whatever thing that you're doing that you don't feel passionate about, I would recommend to stop that and focus on what you love doing and what you can get paid for, right? There's a crossover intersection of those things, and double down on your strengths. This is something that I wish I'd done sooner, is to double down on what I'm good at instead of messing around with what I'm weak at, right? Just double down and get better at your strengths, because there is space for everyone in this world to succeed at what they're good at. And you watching me, you're good at something, right? So that's gonna really increase your happiness, because we spend most of our waking hours working, right? So what you do for work is a huge contributor to how happy you are in life. Okay, most people figure out the science of achievement, like Tony Robbins says, but hardly anyone figures out the art of fulfillment. There's two things to the equation of happiness. There's science of achievement, like making loads of money, like achieving whatever you want to achieve, right? But then fulfillment, that's a whole nother thing. So if you can find a vocation that you can, achieve a lot and also have the fulfillment, that's a winning strategy, winning system. And that's pretty much like why I'm doing these videos, because what better way could I be spending my day other than making videos and providing value and inspiring others, which is my mission. And that's another thing. Like, what is your mission for life, right? For me, it's to inspire others and share my perspectives and other people's perspectives with the world. That's my mission. What's your mission, right? I want to help people live an amazing life because I feel like life is meant for living. Anyway, I digress. Let's get on to point number 8. Spend more time in nature and limit time on social media. So this is a really important one. Like, if I wake up and I'm not feeling that great, if I just go out in nature, like just go on the top of my roof and look at the rice fields, or go to a waterfall, or just walk in the forest, I feel better instantly because I'm connected to nature. If I just go to the beach, I'm feeling better instantly because I'm spending time in nature away from the social media. Social media is like especially Instagram. I feel like Instagram is the land of not enough, right? Everything you see on Instagram is like making you realize what you're not doing, right? And this is like really toxic, and it brings me nicely to point number 9. Point number 9 is to focus on what you have, not on what you don't have, okay? When you're on Instagram, like for me, for example, when I'm on Instagram, I'm looking at all these people that are doing cool stuff that I can't do, or having things that I don't have. So I'm focused on stuff I don't have. And so what does that do to my thoughts? It makes me be in the future and worry about how I'm going to get that. And I'm in the future, I'm not in the present moment, so I'm not enjoying myself because I'm worried about what I don't have, and I'm having anxiety over that. And it's like, it's not healthy for my mind, my thoughts. And I can get stuck in that spiral, and then all of a sudden you're like depressed because you're like, fuck, I don't have this. And you're forgetting that actually you have a lot right now. Like, you have a roof over your head, you're better off than like half the world watching this video, but yet we focus on things we don't have, and then we feel like crap. Right? So that's another thing. Going back to point number 1 is to put the positivity in your mind every single day. It's super important, very important. If I didn't do that, I couldn't make these videos, right? And this video is not just for you, it's for me too. Like, I'm going to watch this video and I'm going to start learning from what I'm saying, because I'm doing these things, but some days, I'm a human. Some days I wake up and I'm not feeling that good. So watching this video would be a nice refresher for me as well. My next point is super important, which is happiness comes from the process, not the outcome, okay? So we live in a society where we have the "I'll be happy when" syndrome. I'll be happy when I have my house. I'll be happy when I make $1 million. I'll be happy when I get married. Like all these things, right? It's all based on an outcome, right? But happiness doesn't come from an outcome. It comes from the process. So Matthew McConaughey, he said, the moment I started focusing on the process and enjoying the process, I started becoming a better actor, right? And that is super important to understand, especially for myself, because I've always been focused on outcomes instead of just doing it. Like for example, this video, all I'm focused on is having fun making this video. I'm not focused on how many views it's gonna get or how much is gonna generate me, all this stuff. I'm just focused on having fun making this video. And that is the only thing that is the goal. That should be the goal in life, is to the process is the goal, right? Enjoying the process is the goal. When I'm doing jiu-jitsu, I have to enjoy the process because the outcomes are so far away, like the belts are like years apart. So if I'm not enjoying the process, I'm not going to enjoy the thing I'm doing. And that applies to anything in life. It's just enjoying the process, and learning how to enjoy the process will give you the outcome you want and make you happier. And then the last one is to lower your expectations, because this is super important. Like people in relationships, for example, like I was dating a girl, she has super high expectations. And so every time I didn't meet her expectations, she'd be mad at me. And it's like, wait a minute, like that's how you're making yourself unhappy, right? And it also makes me unhappy too, because I'm like, I'm not meeting her expectations, but it's like, why am I even dealing with a girl who has these super high expectations? And people don't, if you tell this to someone, like I told it to her and she doesn't want to hear it, right? But it's like, the more expectations you have in life, the more you're setting yourself up for disappointment. Because if someone doesn't meet your expectations, you're disappointed. Like I was watching an interview with Jimmy Carr and he said, how many of us think New Year's Eve is going to be amazing? Right? We think it's going to be amazing, right? New Year's Eve. And it's usually not. It's usually below our expectations. And so what do? We actually don't feel happy because we thought it was going to be amazing, but actually it wasn't that amazing. So it's like if we don't have the expectation, everything's amazing. Like I lower my expectations so that I'm not expecting things from someone. I'm not expecting you to do something and you didn't do it. Now I'm upset with you. Now I'm mad with you. No, I'm just relaxed. I'm chill. Like I don't expect anything. And that's, well, there's a gray area in there, of course, but I lower my expectations. Like I don't really expect much from people or things. That's why I'm able to be happier, because I have lower expectations. And there's one more thing I want to share with you. There's two things actually. Change your beliefs and change your story, okay? So changing your beliefs about what you believe to be true. Like I can do anything I want to do, right? That gives me happiness, that gives me joy, because I know that I can accomplish anything. And I'm changing my story. Like whatever story you have of why you can't do something, if you change that story, then you'll become happier, because you'll realize that actually you can do anything. Whatever the mind of man can conceive and believe, it can achieve. Henry Ford said that, right? So whatever you think in your mind, you can achieve it, okay? And the next point is Jimmy Carr. He said, the meaning of life is enjoying the passage of time, okay? So that's it. Like that's the secret to being happy, is to find a way to enjoy this experience we're all having on earth. We're all here for a short time, and to find the joy in every moment by being present. And that means doing all the things I said in this video, especially limiting time on social media. My goodness. Spending more time off my phone makes me incredibly happy. Like I did a 1-week phone detox a couple of years ago, and the first 2 days I had withdrawal symptoms, but then the last 5 days, it was pure bliss. It was amazing how much happier I felt not being connected to my phone. Like it was just amazing. So I actually might consider doing that again. But anyway, those tips I shared with you are going to help you increase your happiness in your life. And I'm no saint. Like I sometimes fall back into negative thoughts, but I use these things that I just shared with you to reclaim and regain my happiness. Okay, and that's really important. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.